Hello friends and welcome back. If this were a game of chutes and ladders, there would be lots of chutes in our alliance and not many ladders as we continue to plummet down Platinum 4. War 8, today we're taking on DTC.K, Dream Team's something or other, forget. I'm going to go in with, you guessed it, the trusty trio today. Let's get right going. So we have a bit of a change up on section 1 here. We're actually going to be taking path 3, which is the Psychic Thorns path. I swapped with another guy just because it made sense with rosters and the counters that we had available. So first up we have a Proxima Midnight here. Now all three of these fights are going to be Psychic Thorns. I think they might have some other nodes associated with them. Quick Nullify, that really doesn't mean anything to me. Namor is maybe the best Psychic Thorns counter out there. Omega Red, another excellent counter. So Namor, of course, he takes all of the damage that you would be taking from the Thorns and reflects it right back to the opponent. So you'll see some nice extra energy damage numbers there. And then I think if I were to use my Special 3, I would get a little bit of regen. But these fights are pretty quick. And I'm not even doing like a typical Namor playstyle. You can see I'm just throwing my specials whenever really I feel like it, because the health pools on these first 3 fights are so low, it's not worth trying to save up Outrage and fire off a pair of SP3s. So hoping these bleeds finish her off so I can just get out of here with a nice victory. And yep, there we go. So fight number 1 down, moving right along. So this next fight, it was the reason why we ended up swapping this lane. This is an Electro. I think the guy who normally takes this lane uses like Symbiote Supreme, who is all energy damage. But he would have class disadvantage here, and he would be taking the static shock damage back. So Namor made more sense. You can see that Electro evaded. Our opponents are running dodge. And I think that Electro is the only non-Spider-Verse champ who is listed as small. It's really weird that he's listed as a small champ, because his character model is definitely a medium, but maybe that was just an oversight long ago and they never changed it. Alright, so Electro goes down really quick. And next up we have an Invisible Woman on the final Psychic Thorns node. This is just a 455, so not a huge health pool. Namor's bleeds will help whittle down the force field and whatnot. So I parried her and then hit into her once intentionally to trigger the cooldown timer on the invisibility. And now I'm pretty safe to just go in and whittle her down until the force field comes back. You always have to keep one eye, of course, on the timers, the various timers that she has going on, or the force field timer, the invisibility timer, because it's easy to kind of get lost in the fight. And if you slip up once, she can hit you pretty hard. 455 isn't that dangerous here. Also healing up from the exhaustion and the vulnerability debuff, so that's really nice. Again, not worrying about hitting my special 3. Just 30-some hits. And some bleeds take her down. So nice warm-up there in Section 1. Full ABs on all 3 fights, as we like to see. Going up in Section 2 here, we got a Green Goblin on Masochism. This is a duped 6-star Goblin. Going to go in here with Warlock, of course, to get the infection up right away and the heal block up. So we do have to, of course, pay extra attention because it's Masochism that when we go for the parry stun, that he's going to shrug it off instantly. And even though we're blocking the regen from the Masochism node, now that the infection is up, it doesn't block the node from actually triggering. So he's still going to shrug off debuffs, he just won't be healing from them anymore. Alright, now he's healing from his natural regen, so you can see we got the nice power drain going. And from here it's pretty much just parry heavy, repeat. In fact, I think I chose not to go with the second parry heavy there just because I could sense that I had him pretty close and I just wanted to get him down faster than parry heavy. So, alright, Green Goblin down without too much problem. Next up we have a Domino on Buffet. I think it's been a while since I saw a Domino on this node. Definitely this season we've seen an abundance of Captain Marvels. I don't remember anything particularly nasty about this fight. So again, you know, the opponents are running dodge, so that's always dangerous when you have Domino, who is already probably the best defender in the game, just because of her critical failure damage and her lucky ability, and you add the dodge tactic on top of that, and it can make for some nightmarish fights for sure. But I think I mentioned this in the previous video. Ever since I started bringing Warlock to war, I'm not sure I actually have died to a Domino, and I'm not knocking on wood right now because I know I don't die to this one either. So, alright, so we got the armor breaks up. So now here's where the big damage comes in. We're keeping her below a bar of power and just parrying, doing 4 hits and backing off. So 4 hits helps mitigate the chances that I'm going to get caught and ruined by an evade. That second medium on any champ really is the worst spot to get evaded on, because you don't have any time to block or dash back. Alright, we're going to heal up Warlock and take this Mysterio on also on Buffet, and then there's like best defense, but he doesn't evade, he doesn't auto block. So I do make a mistake in this fight. It doesn't cost me the attack bonus, but I think midway towards the end of the fight, I completely forget about his damage reflection ability from his special one, and I punish his special one, and I just lay into him, and it ends up costing me like half my health. And I just, when I saw my health like just immediately disappear, I knew, of course, exactly what happened. But it was just I just had to laugh about it. So another thing to note here is this person is not running willpower, which is really rare to see in war for sure. So I can't rely on Warlock's power draining ability from willpower healing. This was a mistake here. So I thought, you know, I could drain this power manually with the SP1. But then I realized as I fired it off that I had just used up my infection, and now I'd have to build it back up again. So that was mistake number 1. And then you can see I hit into him after a special one, and I lost about 50% of my health there. And you know, I knew I was going to get him down. It was just a silly mistake. I was certain it wasn't going to cost me the fight. So we're going to continue pushing him to his SP2 here, and he's just about down. His helmet's cracked from the armor break. So we're really just waiting out the whatever the stealth phase. I forget what his phases are called. And then just gonna lay into him. 1 more hit should do it. Yep, 2 more hits on an intercept. Finishes Mysterio off. So cost me a bit of health there. As it turns out, I wouldn't need Warlock again, so I didn't need to waste any potions healing him up again. Alright, moving up to Boss Island now. We got a Sabretooth on Recovery Strike Back. I didn't check the SIG level on this Sabretooth. However, I did duel this person, and, you know, this nice young lad was running suicides for me. So, Void plus suicides is such a good time. Another thing, if you haven't noticed, is that I haven't boosted for a single fight this war. And that is because we actually went into this war knowing that it was pretty much a guaranteed loss. I mentioned last war video we had some guys leave after the previous war, so we were actually running with 27 out of 30 members in this war. And we knew that pretty much even if we played perfectly, there was very little chance that we were going to come out here with a victory. So, you know, I still wanted to clear my path. I still wanted to get full ABs on everything, but I was trying to do it without boosting. And so far we've been successful. That Sabretooth goes down. Thank you to that person for running suicides. I hope to see you again in the future. Alright, next up, Terrified there was still sleeping on Sunday morning, so I went in on this Nick Fury myself. Gonna go in with Namor. Gonna do some medium boosts here, and I think a mutant special boost. This node has critical resistance. Not that Namor relies on crits really, he just relies on a massive attack rating. And I was pretty sure that I was going to at least get a shot, maybe not the first shot, on the Doom boss. And I wanted to have my boosts ready in case I was called upon for that. Alright, so this is also a debuff immune node, so that works in Namor's favor because he'll be generating outrage on every hit from his medium attacks. Excuse me. This is also the last fight with Namor in Alliance War before his the changes or the balance changes are made. So as I'm recording this, the changes are live because I updated the app without thinking about it first. And so yeah, I haven't tried Namor out in the war yet. That is currently going on. I think I will need him at some point. We'll see. And so we'll kind of get a trial by fire here if Namor is going to be, as viable as he used to be in Alliance War going forward. Meanwhile, in this war, we've got our first Special 3 up here. I think I was at 28 stacks of Outrage. You saw me back off a bit and kind of wait for it to tick up manually. That was just because I wanted to make sure that he was below a bar of power here. So now we can go in with double medium, get the second SP3 going, and now we're in pretty good shape here. We've got good uptime on both of our Furies, and now we can kind of do the typical Namor cycle. That SP3 did some massive damage here. So we got to block this SP1. This actually takes us out of our Special 2. That's unfortunate. But the SP1 does take him down to his second phase. So I'm kind of on the fence typically about how I play the second phase. It's easy to just kind of sit back and let him degen himself. I will typically like to use that time to kind of properly manage his power. His tactical charge is reset. So if I need to get a few hits in to push him over 2 bars of power, I'd like to do that. So he's at 13. He's close to becoming unblockable here. If I can push him over, just over to 2 bars, so now he's unblockable, but I can bait out a Special 2 and go right back in. I can't push him over with my basic attacks, and my special attacks don't give him enough either. Tactical charges to give him an extra Fury and then reset them. So Imperious Rex triggers a 3rd time, and I believe this Special 3 does do him in. So a lengthy fight for sure, even boosted, but a pretty good one. Very happy with how I played in that one for sure, and come out of there with the full AB. It's always a good fight when you come out of there with the full attack bonus. Alright, last but not least, we get some boss action today. So somebody, I forget who, went in on this Doom. Didn't do much, like 50k it looked like. So we're going to try and do what we can. We're still boosted up with the medium boosts. I have the mutant attack boost running. I didn't bother replacing that since the damage from this fight is going to come from the debuffs and not from the special attacks themselves. Not much else. I think I get pretty poor RNG again with the petrified debuffs. I do time that special one right there just right so that the actual debuff lands as soon as his aura ends. Otherwise he would have resisted it and blocked the debuff from applying. So same thing here. Time the SP1 just right. Now we've got 4 of the 6 debuffs up. None of them are petrified. That's unfortunate. So what that really means is we're going to have minimal uptime of Petrify, which means minimal uptime for blocking his aura before Fear of the Void kicks in. And when Fear of the Void kicks in, his aura will start proccing again. You saw me completely blow and evade on a SP1 there. Luckily, I'm pretty well boosted that it didn't do too much. Looks like only about 20-some%. So he's proccing a lot of the buffs. Void doesn't care about any of those. The degen is directed damage and ignores the resistance. And that one, I don't know what the heck happened to that special one. I don't know if it caught me trying to dash back and thought I was blocking, and then I dropped my finger off, as I do after I'm done dexing. So just that was a mess of an evade for sure. This one is a little bit better. So we've got him down to about 1/3 left and a little over a minute left. So we're in really good shape here. Gonna special intercept with our SP1 there. Fear of the Void kicks in. So I didn't have very good luck at all in this fight with kind of preventing his aura. Luckily, like I showed you a couple times, I was able to time my special attacks to minimize the chances that he was going to block my special. I also didn't get, I don't think I had very many shocks on me. because I didn't get any of the stuns. So either I didn't get shocked or he didn't try and heavy me from attack across the screen. All right, about half a minute left. From here, it's pretty much a done deal. Just need to not die in a horrific manner. Just trying to bait out this last SP1, and I think he dies as he's throwing it. Right. Maybe ready. Nope. Okay, he didn't do his block and finish it. I was thinking of a different fight. So yeah, good, solid boss kill. It's always nice to get some boss action in there. So like I said, we kind of knew going into this war that we was going to be a loss, and actually it was way, way closer than it had any right to be. We actually tied them in attack bonus rating, or attack bonus points, sorry, despite having 3 fewer members. So even with 15 free attack bonuses for them, they still died so many more times than we did. That they tied us, and then so this war actually came down to diversity, and since we were missing 15 defenders, we were at a huge disadvantage in diversity, and that's what cost us the win. But it was nice. I don't know if it was nice or a bit torturous knowing that if we had 3 more people just running as backup, we probably would have won this war. But whatever. We'll move on to the next one, and that's all for now. See you next time.